Super easy to get caught up in shiny object syndrome. You see everyone on YouTube, everyone's like, oh, you should cold call, and then someone will try cold call them for a month, they don't get anything, they switch routes. Then they do Facebook hard for a month, don't get anything, then they switch routes. Then they go on YouTube for a month, find everything, don't get anything, and change routes. And they do mailers for a month, and then they're blowing money on all this crap. They're not getting any leads because
not getting good at any of them.
They're not getting good at any of them. So I mean, I'd say in your first month or two, try everything really quick, pick something that you want to get good in, know it's going to take 6 months at least to get good at it, and you're going to have to put the effort in, but just find where you want to put the effort in. Don't put your effort into something just because you think you should. Find something, find your style, mature it over time, and the business will come.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest here today. We have Gemal Horne here sitting across from me right now. He's a real estate agent that's been in the business now for a year and a half, but I'm super excited to get into a conversation with him because he has a diverse background in investing even prior to getting into being a real estate agent. So he comes into the business with a wealth of knowledge and experience already in his back pocket, which is why I'm super excited, which I believe is part of why he's been so successful as an agent starting off, and also why he's going to be an absolute dominator in the market here in the coming years. So, Gemal, super excited to have you on here today. How you doing, buddy?
Thanks, man. You're really talking me up here.
Yeah, absolutely. You deserve it, man.
Yeah, happy to be here. It's been really fun being an agent. Beats working the old 9 to 5. I get the flexibility with the family and everything. So
that's right. Yeah, you have a lot of new stuff going on. You have a new, is it daughter?
It's a son.
Okay, a new son, right. So you have a new son, a lot of new things going on, man. That's super exciting. We'll get into all that, but I think to start off, let's go back a little bit before you got your real estate license and maybe just tell people a little bit about your story of who you are even before getting into real estate.
Yeah, so went to university, was doing like IT, computer programming, was doing that job for 7 years, and I was just saving up my money. I didn't really like the job that much. Like it was decent money and stuff, so I would just save up. I was buying apartment buildings. They were a lot cheaper back in the day, so I just bought some. It was working, so I was just buying some more. And
this was back in 2020?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Right before the price started shooting up like crazy. Right before COVID started happening.
Yeah, because you said you got your first unit January 2020, right before we kind of started. So that's a perfect timing. That's a very great first investment to have.
Yeah, so I never owned like a bungalow or like a single family home until very recently. I was just buying 3-unit buildings, and I'd move in one, rent them out, and keeps your living costs low, and you still get the equity upside over time. So
that's a brilliant strategy, man. That's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah, a lot of people just rush in to get in a house, right? And then you're just kind of strapped, right? Like, because a house just takes up most of everyone's income, right? So it's nice to do it the other way around, buy apartments and then buy a house later.
Right. Talk about that a little bit, about why that's... Because I see it, but maybe somebody at home not fully understanding. Why is that a better option than just getting into the single family right away?
Yeah, so when you get into a single family, you're paying, let's say, 30 to 40% of your income across all your bills for your housing. So that's a huge part of your income. But if you do a multi-unit building, so instead of renting like an apartment, like a lot of people do, you own it, you rent out some of the other ones. And if you're lucky, you can get your living costs, like housing costs, down to zero or close to it. And then you have that savings rate that homeowners don't have. So over time, you can just save up more money, buy more buildings, and then you get more cash flow, the more units you have. And it just kind of compounds really nicely over time.
And that's what you've done.
Yeah. So I was just buying some, and it just worked really good, so I just kept doing it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I think it's a super exciting story. It's a motivational story too for people getting in the market. Now, at that time, were you in a relationship or were you single?
I was in a relationship at the time.
Okay. See, because I find a lot of people will have almost that thought, but then they're like, but I also have a family and we need to just get into a house that is like suitable for the family. That's
Yeah,
gonna
the
have
younger you
everybody.
are, and you got to talk your lady into it, right? Because I mean, when you're trying to save money, it's like cost and comfort, right? Like girls generally care a lot less about the cost, and they just want to go right into the comfort. Versus a lot of
kind
guys
like
don't
the
care.
family nesting kind of thing, right? Just that like nesting instinct of kind of having your safe space,
your privacy and stuff. But there's a lot of cost to that, right? So if you jump into it, then that's a big sacrifice you're making. But I mean, like I said, before you have a family is probably the best time.
Right.
But, I mean,
that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
But
like
if you still have like
here.
one kid, you could probably get into like a 2-bedroom unit, or there's still 3-bedroom units. Like you can get a duplex, live on the top unit, rent out the bottom, or something like that. I mean, it's obviously annoying sharing your space, but I mean, it just brings the burdensome housing costs down for you.
Right.
And then like after you move out, you could buy a bungalow later and then just rent out both units and collect some cash flow off of it and then sell it 20, 30 years down the road.
So you owned quite a few units before you even dove into the residential portion, right? Like
Yeah.
It was all multi-unit starting off.
Yeah, so I was always living in triplexes. Like we were doing that for almost 6 full years before we bought a bungalow, and it was awesome. Because like I said, it's just compounds. Was living in a triplex, renting a couple out, kept my cost of living really low, which means my savings rate is really big, which means I was saving up money faster, which means I could get a down payment faster. And then the more units you have, the faster you could buy your next one because your savings rate just goes up and your income goes up.
Right. So then, okay, so you started in IT. What got you into all this? What got you thinking along this frame of, I want to start off with a triplex as opposed to a residential? Like what inspired you?
Yeah, well, in terms of residential, like the bungalow, I just didn't want to tie up all my money. I was young.
But where'd you learn that though?
Buying the triplexes?
Yeah, like is there someone that you listened to that you heard?
Honestly, Bigger Pockets on YouTube.
Okay.
Just listen to Bigger Pockets. They have the podcast. They pump you up. There's a lot of bullshit on there, to be honest. But I mean, it gives you a baseline of information and it gets you excited to do it.
Right.
Which is good. But I mean, the trap of Bigger Pockets is they're always talking about, scale, 22-year-old owns 50 units or whatever. So they have all these really unrealistic stories and they don't talk about all the bad things that happen.
No, well, I think that's any type of coaching organization or any type of anybody showcasing something. They always like to show the success stories, right?
Yeah.
People are always showing like, hey, look, this person did it with the formula that we're providing and they did it to the highest level. And there's always going to be outliers, but they really highlight those outliers as like, this is what's possible for everybody, which, I mean, it is if you do it right.
yeah. But like I said, there's obviously growing pains. There's a lot of risk buying apartment buildings. But like I was just, after I graduated, I was just paying off like my car loan. And then I was like buying some stocks and stuff. And that was really good. And then I was watching Bigger Pockets for probably like a year before I actually bought something. And then it was kind of like a little YOLO moment. I was like, fuck it, bought it. Moved into one of the units, fixed it up over time, dealt with some bad tenants and stuff. So it was very eventful.
Yeah.
So like with my first apartment building, like it's super exciting. So I got in there in January and then we had this old guy. He was like 83, 84. He ended up passing away 2 months into me owning the building. And
no.
Yeah. So that was
like your first experience with like a tenant.
Yeah, like he was super nice and like he had like Alzheimer's like crazy. Every time like he liked me, he'd come up, he'd be like, oh, here's your rent. He kept trying to pay me rent every time he saw me, which is obviously way more than he was supposed to.
Right.
Obviously I didn't take it, but so we had to like, he lived there for like 20, 25 years. So we had to like really fix it up. And this was getting into COVID time. So it was really hard to find contractors. I had no experience. So I was getting ripped off by contractors too. Because like a contractor, they can sense if you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, they just latch onto you and they do some crappy work, but you don't know what crappy work is when you're new. Mm-hmm. So I was working on it. And then the other tenant was really upset that we were working on the unit because we'd occasionally turn the water off and on because we were doing some plumbing and stuff. And she was really, really mean. She kept calling the tenants board on me. So that was
one of your tenants too?
Yeah. But those were both the tenants that came with the building.
Yes, gotcha. So then since then, what's been a trick that you've used to find good tenants? What's been a filtration process that you use?
Well, I've never placed a bad tenant myself because I had the bad experience with those.
Yeah.
So I was always really careful, place my own tenants. So when I place tenants, I do background check, I do a credit check and pay stubs, make sure they have a good income. Mm-hmm. Because people with good credit, they're not going to risk losing their credit score. The references matter a lot less because everyone that's a bad tenant has bullshit references.
Right.
So those are like, call them, but I mean, they matter a lot less than a credit score and stuff. Right. And then as long as you're renting like a rate a little bit under market, like you'll get flooded with demand. And then you kind of like, you'll develop a gut feeling too. Right.
Right. So then you're interviewing these people. You're like, are you asking them a series of questions too? Is there kind of a questioning, almost like an interview style that you do with them?
No, it's not like an interview style. Well, I do have like a little form they fill out with some baseline information, but I kind of just talk to them and get a feel for
on the
what they're
phone
like.
normally or in person?
No, in person when I'm showing the unit, I just kind of get a feel for them.
That's when you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the best tenant for me might not be the best tenant for someone else, right? So I got to get someone that matches with me. And like I still have one of my first original tenants that I placed myself 5.5 years ago.
Yep.
Not going to say any names, but he's been awesome and he takes great care of the unit.
Yeah.
And I love having him there.
That's awesome. It's always nice when you have symbiotic work going on that, you have happy tenants, happy clients. It's always a symbiotic experience.
So I bought the first triplex, renovated it, got new tenants in the units. Everything was going great. So then I bought the next unit. It was a duplex and it was really good. Bought it.
What year was this now? So
2020. It was 6 months later.
6 months later. So that same year you bought the first one, you bought another duplex that year.
Yeah, it was 6 months later. And this was August we closed. So this was right in the middle of COVID. Okay. So demand dropped. And there was a temporary price drop. So I got in on that price drop really good. Like I just lowballed a bunch of guys that had duplexes, like 3 of them. And then I just went with the one that was most receptive on the lowball.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously something like that never worked today.
So during that, there would have been a lot of uncertainty going on. There would have been a lot of chaos happening because the world was at that point, pretty well metaphorically in a blender.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what was going on. What made you jump onto another one so fast?
Well, it was just working out the first one, and I had just enough money for a down payment.
You weren't concerned about kind of where the market was going, or did you?
Oh yeah, I was definitely worried. But I mean, people always need a place to live, so the demand factor can't go away.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
But yeah, it was taking a massive risk, but no one else was buying. So I mean, I saw that the listings were stacking up, and I could negotiate a great price. Prices could have gone way lower. Market might not have gone up. I had no idea it was going to.
That's just it. Nobody's got a crystal ball, right? But it's,
so
hindsight's 2020. Looking back, you say, "Geez, that's a brilliant move." How did you time that? How'd you know?
Yeah, I didn't know that one was my best buy actually. So I bought that one, rented out both. It worked out good. Then a year and a half later, I bought the next unit. It was a 3-unit building, and we lived there for a really long time, like 4 years.
Okay.
It was over east. It was just.
So now you're at 8 units total.
I have 9 right now.
Oh, sorry, no, but so this point in the story.
Yeah. This point in the story, I had 8. I had the original triplex, the duplex, and the last triplex. So the last one I got, it was this up-down duplex. It was beautiful. Didn't even have to work on it. And it had a granny suite out back. So we fixed up the granny suite. Like we had to renovate like everything. It was like a 40, 50 grand renovation. And then that's when Airbnb started. So we were renting out upstairs, still have the tenant today, amazing tenant, 4 years later. And we were just doing Airbnb for ever since. And so that opened up the next part of the real estate journey, which was short-term rentals on the Airbnb platform. Didn't know what the hell we were doing, just bought some furniture. We were like, fuck it, threw it in there, cleaned it up between units. And it was really easy to clean it because it was just in the backyard.
Yeah.
And we started that. It hit the market like in spring, right on Airbnb market. And
there's one unit you did the Airbnb with?
Yeah. Just because it was.
Did you have like a concept with it? I know it seems like a lot of Airbnb rentals, like kind of concept spaces, seem to be the more prioritized or like more rented out. Do you know what I mean? Like little themes and stuff, or did you just have it fairly generic?
It was just a nice, newly renovated with stainless steel appliances, very clean unit.
Yeah.
So it was just basic, and it started popping off right away. Like it was like 3 or 4 months setting it up. We threw thousands of dollars of furniture into it, and it just worked out, right? So nice. As you know, I just like trying shit. Some stuff works, some shit doesn't.
Yep.
And the Airbnb just worked, right? Like except the first guy Like we had some weirdos staying in the units, but nothing major. Kind of sketched us out a little bit, but like whenever anything went bad, Airbnb really had our back. So then that paved the way for the next building that we had, the triplex, about a year later. Uptown, beautiful building. Bought the 3-unit building, and then we put all 3 of them on Airbnb. So at this point, I was only like 3.5 years in. I was already buying my 3rd or 4th building, and I was buying furniture and stuff. I was renovating, so I was expanding too fast. I was using credit lines, but I mean, everything was working out. So I was like, who cares, right? So we bought the next building. Had to buy furniture for 3 units. Had to use a little bit of credit line debt to get in the door. So at this point, like I was pretty deep in debt, like outside of mortgages too, just because it's like I keep using credit lines, expanding, it keeps working. So I kept doing it. And
this is what I hear from a lot of investors though, that they keep pouring into it, and they'll go like just right to that like limit of going like, because they know they're getting it back. They know that it's working, it's producing income.
But it keeps working till it doesn't is the thing.
Well, that's the scary part, right? But hasn't happened yet.
It works really good until you hit a hiccup, and in real estate you can hit some big hiccups.
Oh, absolutely.
So we put all 3 units on Airbnb. So we bought it it was like October-ish or November.
Okay.
And then we had all the units on Airbnb by the next year in January. And then it was amazing, was going great for 3 or 4 or 5 months. And we had it furnished. It was nice. The maintenance was up to date. And then here comes the city. The city gives me this giant work order. Bull crap. It was like 50K worth of work. Mind you, I was already maxed out on credit lines. I was already up to like 80, 90K in credit lines.
Right. Furnishing these units and just...
Yeah. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to furnish these units. Cash flow is going to come, and then I can use the cash flow to work on stuff.
Yeah.
And all my buildings are great maintenance, right? So probably nothing will come up. And then the city came in really harsh, really mean with this like 50K worth of work. Like they're threatening to like take me to court and everything.
Really?
Over stupid stuff.
How long had you owned the building at that point?
Like 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months. You think the fact that it changed hands sparked them to like
no, there was some
there
was some bricks that fell off the top of the building.
Oh.
And then they called me to warn me, and then they came to inspect the whole building to make sure it's all code. But this building's 150 years old.
Like a lot of buildings in St. John are.
Yeah, so it's really old, and now I had to bring it to modern build code, which was expensive and annoying and scary.
Yeah. See, this is stuff that people don't hear about from the landlord side, right? Because you didn't even have an option. There wasn't an option for, those had to be repaired.
Yeah. So like, hey, you need to have this done in like 6 weeks from now, right? So they give you really tight deadlines, then you apply for the build permit, and they take 2 months to respond to your build permit.
Right.
So it makes no sense. So I didn't have the money to do it, so I had to sell one of my buildings, which sucked because I really liked the building. So I sold the building, used the money to do the renovations.
Did what you had to, yeah.
And then I had to pay a big capital gains tax, right?
Okay.
So this is kind of when I got built too fast, too soon, because I didn't have reserves. I didn't have the emergency fund because I was just getting excited and I kept buying. And it all worked out. I took care of the city. I still have those other 3 buildings today. I miss having the 4th. But like if the city never came at me, I still would have had the 4, and I would have just expanded way faster.
Right. But it's all the learning curves that happen along the process, right? Like how are you supposed to know that there was going to be work orders that were going to be slammed, a couple months after you had these units fully furnished?
But it's my fault for not having a stacked emergency fund.
Right. So
I got a little trigger happy buying too much. So
So now out of those stories, what would be some of your advice then? So like, let's say somebody's watching, they're a new investor, or there's somebody that's thinking along the lines of the way that you thought before you got into the market. What would be your advice to them now, knowing what you know, knowing everything you've gone through? Would you give any kind of maybe different advice to yourself or to a new investor? Yeah,
I'd say buy your unit, get an agent that has already owned units, because a lot of people, they know the market value, but they don't know what it's like to own. They don't know. There's a lot that they don't know. So get a good agent to help guide you through the units. And
somebody who's done it before?
Yeah, because then they can recommend
somebody like Gemal.
They can recommend you contractors. They can tell you about the tenancy laws because they've lived it.
Yep.
And they know how they've changed over time. And find good contractors and build good relationships with them.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone's like, get 4 contractors, quote them all out, and then just keep going with the cheap one. But if you keep doing that, A, you're going to get bad quality, and B, you're never going to get the good relationship.
Right.
Because when you get good relationship with contractors, they come faster, the deals come over time, and they trust you and you trust them.
Yep.
So I have great...
When there's that repeat business, then you know how they work, you know how fast they're normally responding. Everything becomes a little bit more predictable as well when you're working with people that you have a relationship with.
Yeah, and you're a great customer if you have multiple buildings. So I'd say if you're just starting out, buy a building. It's fun. Don't don't try to expand too fast. Just because you can buy doesn't mean you should. Slow and steady wins the race. Always have that emergency fund, bigger emergency fund per building that you have.
What would you say for an emergency fund would be a safe amount that people should have?
I would say minimum 10K per building. I mean, realistically, somewhere between 10 to 20K per building. So if you have like 3 buildings, 40, 50K would be good. Like in a high interest savings account, you could maybe do some stocks or something, but you need liquid. You need to be able to...
And this is on units that are like 4, 3, or like, duplex, triplex, quad kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the bigger the unit, the more of a backup fund or an emergency fund that you need.
Yeah,
right?
So I'd say like 10 to 15K building's is probably right where you should be. So like I said, after that, I was just buying like stocks and stuff for a while, right? Not that I couldn't buy real estate, but I was just kind of scarred from the city.
Right.
And because like I said, that work order lasted it was like a year, give or take, just going back and forth. I'd clear their list, they'd come up, they'd add more crap onto their list.
And that's floating in the back of your mind for that entire year.
Yeah,
that you have this list of things that need to be done.
So this was 2024 by the time the city's off my back.
Okay.
So, yeah, that sucked big time. Screw the city. So after that, I was just still working my work. I was so burnt out from just being a landlord because I wasn't using a property manager. I was doing it all myself, just working, and then after work going painting, meeting tenants after work, at lunch break, before work, whatever the hell.
Kind of doing it all.
Yeah, so I was like a zombie.
Doing it all, Gemal.
Yeah, I was a zombie. I was doing it all done. I was reducing the risk the best I can, but there's just stuff pops up.
Yeah.
And then my other job ended up laying me off for Bell Canada because the IT world is getting wrecked.
Yes,
so I was like, hey, instead of just reapplying for work, I'm just going to take this time to pivot careers because I like real estate a lot. So
yeah, you're very passionate about it.
Yeah, so I just became a real estate agent at that point, and I had the experience of ownership because I've owned many units, so I know different types of cabinets, different types of flooring, different types of siding, different types of plumbing, different types of electric, all that. So I can guide people through my experience of ownership because a lot of agents, they own one house or they've never owned a house, but I've owned many. So I feel like that gave me a wisdom owning real estate for 5 years.
Absolutely. Well, that's just it. So it's not starting from zero. You're starting from experience. You're coming in the industry already with experience.
Yeah. So I came in, joined eXp a little over a year ago now. And it's a way different way of life compared to working the 9 to 5. It's, you eat what you kill.
Yeah,
so
absolutely it is. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that transition. How have you found it? Because you are doing certain things that most agents don't start off doing anymore. Everybody wants to start off on social media. They want to start off making the content. You started off with some of the old school methods of cold calling and door knocking, and you've had a lot of success with it.
Yeah.
And right before the podcast started, you said that you've been lucky. And I'm like, no, there's no luck involved in what you're doing because what you said before that was you're calling at the right times and you're knocking the doors at the right times. It's like, but you're doing those activities which are producing the results. So talk about that a little bit. How's that been? Why did you pick those as your kind of lead generation tools to start off?
Yes.
And kind of what are you doing to see the results? Like what are some tips that you could kind of talk about for other agents out there that are listening?
Yeah, so I guess I got my license and I was just taking it nice and slow and easy. I was on EI, right? So there was no real pressure to get going fast. So I was just researching stuff that I could do. I noticed social media was extremely saturated and then you got to pay. So I was just learning like old school, like you can call people, you can door knock people, and that's free.
Yep.
And
what do you have to pay for social media?
You need to pay. Well, you either need to make content or you need to pay for ads.
Yeah. Okay. So you mean like pay to boost it? You mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I didn't really feel like learning how to do all that stuff, and it's just not. I was never that much into social media, to be honest. And I like pushing myself and learning skills. And I was like, hey, if I can get skills, then I can continuously win with no budget. So I started off cold calling people. So I would pull up the phone book, I would call people, no experience, sounded like a complete idiot. And I was like, hey, I would just tell people about sales in the area. Hey, place just closed on your street. And then I would just talk to them for a couple minutes. And then I would ask, hey, have you thought about selling your house in the next year? 95% of people would say no, but every once in a while you get someone that'd be like, actually we are thinking about selling in 6 months, or actually I do need to buy something.
Right.
So, I mean, I would call for like an hour a day, 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay.
And I would just go to the gym, come home 9 to 10. I was dialing. I had it blocked in my calendar and I would do it every day.
Yes, sir.
And at first it was awkward. And the more I did it, the more comfortable I got with it.
Just like anything, right?
Yeah. And then I was doing
it's sharpening your teeth at a skill. Like you said, it's developing it. Just like, we didn't know how to walk when we were born, but now we all walk fine and it's just second nature, right? Like we're not good at anything when we start, but the more you do it, you get better at it, and then it becomes almost second nature.
Yeah, and it's very repeatable too, because it's almost like a similar conversation you're having with everyone on the phone. Everyone hears that you're a real estate agent. They get a little bit defensive. You don't bring up selling their house. You don't push anything. You're just a laid back guy, and
you're providing value.
Yeah, I'm
because you're saying, like, hey, I just want to let you know there was a house that sold down the road. Were you curious about what that sold for?
Yeah, a house down the street just sold today.
Exactly.
You want to hear the details.
And everybody wants to know the details.
Yeah, so but everyone thinks there's a catch, right?
Of course,
because everyone's used to the salesperson. So,
yep.
Yeah, like I said, first month didn't get much, kept doing it for a few months, and then I just picked up some clients. It was awesome. So I got lucky, I guess. I called people just in time. Like just when they were thinking about it, and
that's why I don't think it was luck. I don't think it was luck, because you were doing a lot. Like you're talking about doing a lot. A lot of people don't even have that structure when they start off in real estate, and they're wondering why they're not getting business. But you're doing lead generation every single day, pretty committed. And I mean, like you and I have talked off podcast before, and how sometimes you'll do door knocking instead. Like you're like, if I'm feeling like being out in front of people, then maybe I'll just go out and door knock.
Yeah.
But if I have maybe a lot going on, I have to be at home, I'll do the cold calling that day.
Yeah. So I started it was just doing cold calling. I actually like the door knocking better. And then when I got one of my first listings, I door knocked the area to tell people.
Yes.
I had flyers I was printing out. I was like, hey, I'm selling this house. Do you know anyone that'd be interested in moving in? Right. And then I would just try to talk to them for a few minutes and try to so on the surface level, I'm trying to sell the house. Below the surface level, I'm trying to gauge if they're going to sell soon. I'm trying to scout the neighborhood. They'll see that I sold a house in their neighborhood. And then anytime I find someone that's interested, I write them down on my whiteboard and I keep sending you stats every couple months. Right.
Yeah.
So I do cold call and then I follow up with my mail. And it works, right?
And your mail, it's a lot of handwritten mail, right?
Well, after I'm done door knocking or cold calling, if I had a good conversation with you, I'll write you a nice handwritten thank you card.
Right.
With my card, I send it out to you, and then you're on my whiteboard, and then I keep following up like that.
Yeah.
Because like when I very first started, like as soon as I found someone that was interested, like I didn't want to lose the business, so I'd try to like follow up, right? Because I didn't like that. That's what I heard online. Oh, money's in the follow up. Money's in the follow up.
Yeah.
But people hate when you call them. They feel pressured on the spot.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful. There's a balance. There is a balance, and I think it's all how you navigate it. And everybody is going to have a different threshold. That's the thing. Every client, every person, every potential lead is going to have a different threshold, right?
Yeah. So it's like a sweet spot. You want to follow up without being aggressive. Like you want to stay top of mind.
You have to like really read that tonality when you're on the conversation with them, right? Like,
yeah. Well, like I said, people feel pressure if you call them, right? So the initial call is fine, but I like to follow up with either email or mail only. That way it's low pressure on them. They're not expected to reach back out to you.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you keep being top of mind with people and they'll reach out when you're ready.
Absolutely.
Don't pressure them. If they're like, hey, I'm going to sell in 6 months, don't call them in 6 months and be like, hey, it's 6 months. Let's list your house.
I mean, if they say in 6 months, call them in 5 and just say, hey, even 4, just, hey, I know you said 6 months from now. I just wanted to see, did you want to start strategizing? Maybe sit down to see what this looks like, start putting a plan in place? Just calling to see, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be just a good tool. And I mean, you always have to follow up like that. But I mean, if you're doing it every month and then, by the time you actually get to the point when they said they want to list, they're already sick of you calling.
Exactly.
So it's a matter, I think, of kind of putting it on the calendar and being like intentful with that follow up and not being spammy, but being efficient with it, which is going to look different for everybody. But here's something that I want to say though is, because you talk about the follow-up and staying top of mind. That's one reason that I do love the social media. And I know you and I have talked a lot about this in depth. And I'm hoping and excited for when you do start the social media, because I think it's going to add such a other layer to the way that you're getting business right now, because you are going out and you're getting in front of people and you're making connections over the phone. With the follow-up, sometimes you don't really know how much you should be doing the follow-up. If I call the person, is it gonna push them the wrong way? And maybe now they think I'm being salesy or spammy. But then with the social media, you're just kind of getting in front of them. Then they reach out when they're ready. So it's almost like putting yourself out in front of everybody,
Yeah, it
but
is like
letting
follow-up.
them choose whether they want to even listen to what you're saying, letting them choose. And then also just the fact that they could see you for that quick second. Oh, Brandon made another video. They might not even watch it, but they're going, he's out there making videos, and it makes it a little bit easier for when they think of somebody to stay top of mind there too. So there's a layer to that I'm excited for when you add, because I think it's going to add it's going to add another source of lead gen for you. And I think another way of kind of doing business. I know you're not big into it, but you have an IT background too. You should be friggin' all over it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm used to these complicated tech tools, and I like keeping things dead simple, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're doing too many things at once, you're not really getting good at anything, right?
And I'm very glad you just said that, because I was thinking about, actually before the podcast even started, I was thinking, and I wanted to mention this, is how you've done an amazing job at getting good at just a couple things to start off. You're not spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah,
so I have
obviously.
I have to give you a ton of props for that, because it's very smart. Every time I've tried to push this on you, you always push back saying, no, I just want to get good at the cold calling and the door knocking. And then once I feel like I have that mastered, then I'll add another layer. But so you're really building a very good foundation.
Yeah.
And I really admire that. And I think that's actually a great tip for agents out there starting off, or if you're a year or two in the business. If you're trying too much, if you're spreading yourself too thin, then you're not really doing any of those lead generation sources efficiently, right? Where if you just focus on a couple, like I started off just focusing on the social media, and that's still pretty well my sole focus has been the social media, right? But when you hyper focus on that, you become a dominator in that space.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And as opposed to spreading yourself over, mailers and then the CRM. But then eventually I can start to add on things onto the social media. So it's like I've added on, doing like a podcast. Like I could have done this starting off because I didn't understand all this stuff, but I started off doing very simple videos and then just kind of talking there. But then you can add on the layers, right? And like another layer like CRM. And then I'm going, okay, maybe I'll build a website out here right now that's providing some other value, finding other ways to kind of put yourself online in other aspects too, right?
Yeah. Well, it's super easy to get caught up in shiny object syndrome. You see everyone on YouTube. Everyone's like, oh, you should cold call. And then someone will try cold call them for a month. They don't get anything. They switch routes. Then they do Facebook hard for a month. Don't get anything. Then they switch routes. Then they go on YouTube for a month, find everything, don't get anything and change routes. Then they do mailers for a month. And then they're blowing money on all this crap. They're not getting any leads.
Not getting good at any of them.
They're not getting good at any of them. So, I mean, I'd say in your first month or two, try everything really quick. Pick something that you want to get good in. Yeah. Know it's going to take 6 months at least to get good at it. Yeah. And you're going to have to put the effort in. But
at least
find where you want to put the effort in. Don't put your effort into something just because you think you should. Find something. Find your style, mature it over time, and the business will come.
100%, man. I think that's a great tip. And like I said, I just really enjoy how you've been good at that. So I'm excited for that other layer because I know it's going to come at some point. I know it's going to come. I hope this podcast probably helps a little bit.
Yeah, well,
is this your first podcast ever?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, you're crushing it.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a lot of stuff to share, which is why I was excited to have you in too. I'm like, man, you got a lot of knowledge, and you've done extremely well starting off. How long did it take you to get your first deal closed when you started as an agent?
I mean, I kind of already had someone set up, so it was only like a month and a half.
Ladies and gentlemen, a month and a half.
But it was someone I already knew. And
but you keep downplaying all this stuff. It's incredible, man.
Yeah.
It took me 3 months to get my first deal, and I closed 2 on the same day when I first started. So my first closing ever, I had 2 closings on the same day, and for some reason I wanted to line that up. I almost like purposely tried to line that up because I felt like I was like, I'm going to come in with a bang. I want to come in with an impact into the industry.
Yeah, my first client, it was I rented to him like 5 years ago, and I just reached out to him like, hey, I'm a real estate agent now, because every once in a while he would ask me about like just property stuff. And like I went out and met up with him with coffee way before I was a real estate agent, and I just kept in touch. And then I told him, and he's like, hey, I own a house now and I want to own a duplex to cut down my living expense. Like, let's talk about it. So we got him into a duplex. and he's really happy with it. And then he bought another property since. He gave me referrals since, right? So I try to make sure people are happy with their buys, right? And this was a time where markets are really hot. You couldn't really do inspections. So I would just take my time, really go through a property with people. And then if you're not doing inspection, the most important thing, it's the pre-close inspection. You really got to go through and just check out everything, because it's your last chance to hold the seller accountable for the condition of their property.
Yeah. Just making sure that it's in the same state that it was when you originally seen it too, right?
Yeah, you don't want people to mess up the drywall. You don't want them to leave crap in the yard or crap inside.
Right.
Right.
And if they do, exactly like you said, then that's your last chance to figure it out. Because once it closes, it's very hard to get anything done.
Yeah. Then
so you have that window of time there on that closing day between the pre-closing inspection and then when the lawyers actually transfer the money over to get that kind of resolved, right? And sometimes that can actually cause a delay in closing.
Yeah. Sometimes it closes the next day. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, a lot of the time you just get in there at 9 a.m., do the pre-close inspection. And then, I mean, a lot of the time your clients are looking to you for guidance because they don't really feel confident in anything. So you got to be their knower of things.
Absolutely. And that's where the agent and the lawyer and the clients are kind of working hand in hand at that moment to make sure everything's going well, and that the clients and that the buyers are happy to take possession, and that the sellers have fulfilled everything on their end of the contract, right?
But yeah, and I mean, as long as you do a great job with your clients, they'll refer you their friends and family, as long as their friends and family don't already have an agent, and then kind of just the referral network spreads. But I mean, early on as an agent, you have a limited referral network. So as soon as you could find people that you didn't already know and you work with them, you do a great job, and then their referral spreads. So you just need to find people out of nowhere. So then it just accelerates that referral network growth.
100%, man. Are you using a CRM right now?
Honestly, I hate that CRM stuff.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like it starting off.
All I do is I just have
I'm still working on it.
I have a notepad, Excel, just because it's too complicated, right? Like I don't need that kind of complexity in my life. So I know what you need to do, and I had to do this. So I had to actually set time aside to learn the CRM. That's the frustrating part with it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to learn them, if I'm going to use this, now it's almost like studying a new subject, right? I'm like, I first need to read the manual on how this system even works. And that's something that like you and I both don't really love doing, because it's like, that seems like lost time, right? It's like, why would I sit there and learn about something? At the same time, you're just really increasing the complexity of your business loop, right? Like for me, I like things to be as simple as possible.
Simple, yeah.
It makes it easy to be good at
Less is more.
So I just have my Excel sheets, my notepads with notes, and then I have my whiteboard. And my whiteboard is my seller pipeline. Everyone I door knocked or cold called, and they're like, hey, I'm selling next year. Great. I throw you on my whiteboard, your name, address, some notes on you, and the last time I mailed you. And then I just keep mailing people every 2 months. So then my whiteboard expands as I've prospected and talked to more people. And then like right now, I'm up to like 50 or 60 people on my whiteboard.
Okay.
So over time, in the next 2 years, these 60 people are going to sell. And even if I can only get like 20% of these people, that's great business.
Yeah.
Because then I can get 20%. That's like 10 or 12 people to sell. And then they'll tell their family. And then the referral network will spread for free.
Absolutely.
I didn't have to pay for ads. I just had to, be ballsy and go talk to people.
Absolutely. So, man, there's so many things that you've done that are impressive. So starting off a year and a half in the business, the amount of business that you've done, the amount of success you've had, but you're doing it in a way that most people come in and they want the social media and they want all those, but you picked a different route completely. And I find it so fascinating because you're doing very well at the different route. You're kind of taking a little bit of a more traditional path when it comes to the lead generation, and still absolutely crushing it. Like you said, you had a deal close within your first month in the business. And it's, I remember first talking to you and I instantly knew, I was like, this, you have the outgoing personality, but you have a ton of knowledge and you're very passionate about it. It's that's why I was excited to get you on the podcast too. Cause I'm like, man, you need to like get some of this stuff out there. I think we're gonna have some great clips.
Yeah.
Well,
like I said, I have a lot of good experience and I just help people and the money will come, right? Because I mean, buying property is a big thing, right? So I want to help people get the right one. I want to help people negotiate those inspections because I also really know what it like, things are going to cost to fix and all that. So if I'm helping someone get their house ready, it's like, hey, I can help you get this ready. Maybe here's a few things that you could do. It'll cost you $1,000 maybe, and it'll really increase the perceived value.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a new agent coming into eXp and the Wolfpack, because there's a perception out there that eXp isn't a great brokerage for new agents. I've heard some people say stuff like that, right? Like, oh, you know, eXp is not for new agents. I've heard people say this, but you're proving that wrong, and we have other agents in our group that are proving that wrong actively as well. But I want from your experience, what was it like coming in with our group into eXp?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously joining a cloud brokerage, it was really overwhelming at first because you have all these apps, blah blah blah. So I was going through the modules, the training, and the training was actually really good. I thought, to be honest, like the people that were doing the classes, it was good. So I went through all that, no problem. And then I was just making sure to go out to meet all the people, like all the agents in the group. I was going out to the lunches. So I was still getting that social exposure to everyone. I was still had multiple people that I could call that were experienced agents.
Yeah.
So I felt like I still had the support. I mean, not having the office, people maybe don't like it because there's no office. People like to go into the office and then just ask everyone their questions. But I can still call you. I can call the other agents that have been agents for 5-10 years and get the same help anyways.
Yeah, we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experienced agents in our group, man. When I was actually, I was looking at, so we have about 22 agents in our organization. Here in the Wolfpack in New Brunswick, pretty well, right? There's like 22, and then there's some up in Moncton as well. But the overall volume that we've done this year is $87 million of volume for 22 agents. So when you break that down, on average, every agent in our group is doing at least six figures. They're doing at least 100,000 when you break it down by average. So it's like there's a lot of agents that are producing, and so I think that kind of dynamic helps to have a whole bunch of different opinions to pick from, right?
Yeah.
And did you find people are like genuinely interested in helping? Like anytime that you've needed something?
People want to help and they want to see you grow because, I mean, we get stock, so everyone wants the company to grow, and it's just fun to help people out, right?
It is,
and
for sure.
I find eXp is really good too because we have really favorable splits towards the agents, so the agents make more money, so that kind of gravitates the experienced agents to the company. So now I have a lot of really senior and high producing agents that are just willing to help me all the time, right? Because like I said, the bigger agents, they're experienced, they just want higher splits. eXp gives you the higher split.
Yeah.
So I'm surrounded by senior agents.
Yeah.
And you guys have helped me navigate some complicated scenarios in my deals.
And it's a pleasure. Like there's I've always said this too, like I love pouring into people that are passionate though, that are in like, you know, so when you're calling, asking a question, it's like, I know you're out there doing the work. It's a different story when you have people that are calling and kind of, maybe, you know, they're not executing on the back end, right? But they're just calling and maybe taking some of your time, but it's like, you know, that they're not executing. The people that are executing, it's like, I love pouring into people like that. I love helping. It's like, let's go. Like if you see somebody, it's like the same reason why, you know, if somebody's broken down to the side of the road and they're just like sitting out there with their friggin' thumb out, most people don't stop. But if you're like pushing your car, you're trying to push it, like people will pull over and like help you push. They're like, this guy's trying. Like, it's like people are more likely to help somebody that's helping themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of that too. So I mean, you know, it's a culture of our group to help for sure, but you've been doing a lot of work on the back end is what I'm saying to actually make it worthwhile to pour in as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really good social systems at eXp. The broker is really knowledgeable and they can help you just like that. So, I mean, the social help is there, right? It's just not in your face because you're not in an office, so that scares some people. But, I mean, at eXp, we get like higher splits, we get better tools than other agents. I think I've never been somewhere else, but I know like we get Canva for free for all the digital stuff online that we make really easy.
Yep.
Yeah, and we just get extra money to play with every deal. And like I said, I'm learning from just as good of agents, if not better, at the other brokers. So
I love it, man. I love it. So what else is going on, Gemal? What else are some things that you're interested in discussing? Is there anything on your mind coming up for 2026 that you're looking forward to?
Well, I mean, I just bought my like an actual single family, not multifamily house, so we're just settling in there. I'm taking a little bit of break from prospecting, like let's say a month and a half, just because it's been so chaotic.
Yep.
So in the new year, my kid's finally going to daycare.
Okay.
Which is awesome. So that's gonna free me up to just go crazy. I got some stuff up my sleeve, some new tricks for prospecting.
Nice. Okay.
And really excited to get out there and find more clients and help more people.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. And when you come from that mindset too, that's when you start to attract the business. And there's an ongoing theme of every real estate agent that's been sitting right here, and all of them say the same thing. Once you figure out that it's about helping people and it's not about our commission, it's got nothing to do with what we want, and it's all about helping the client, that's when the business starts gravitating towards you.
Yeah, you just find more people with more real estate related problems, and you just solve problems, and the money and the business just comes, right?
Find ways to provide the
value.
value.
I mean, the thing is you just need to keep finding problems, and that's what you can't sit back, right?
What do you mean by finding problems?
Like, for example, maybe you know someone that's been renting for a long time, they hate renting, so that's a real estate related problem.
Gotcha,
or say you know
okay.
someone that's getting older and they've owned their house for a long time, and they're worried about the ice, and it's getting more dangerous for them to own their house. So you solving that problem for them, getting them into maybe something newer and smaller,
Right.
an apartment or something, that's a real estate problem you're solving. So you're just finding problems that people have, and you're just making their life better, essentially.
Absolutely. Well, those are great video topics right there too. Those are great little short clip topics.
Yeah, and I mean, like, home buyers, right? It's not like we're selling crap. Like, you get to get into a house, pay it off over time, build equity, tax free. So you're really helping people out.
Absolutely, and that's
It's not like we're selling cars where we're just selling you crap.
No, right. I mean, and not all cars are crap for sure. Not all car salesmen are crap. Not all salesmen are good in any industry. But the thing is we are helping people, and it's a very fulfilling career. And when you are able to help people transact the largest purchase, the largest deal that they're going to have in their life, in most cases, right? Selling your house, buying a house is the largest transaction that the majority of the population deal with. And the fact that we get to help people and guide them through that and help them make a good decision. And sometimes it's helping them think in the future too, right? Because somebody might think right now, I've had a lot of first-time home buyers say things along the lines of like, we just need a 2-bedroom home. Like, we'd be fine with 2 beds. That's fine. And I'm going, yeah, I know that's fine for you right now. But when it comes to resale, you're really going to be shooting yourself in the foot. Like, 2 bedrooms don't sell as good as the 3 bedrooms because you're closing yourself off to only a portion of the market. And then they go, I never even thought of that, right? So it's like helping them even position themselves for the future as well. Yeah. Not that I like to think about selling somebody's house before they even get in there, but I am. I'm making sure that when they buy it, they're going to be able, it's like, when they call me, I want to make sure that they're going to be in a position where they can make some money, that I'm going to be able to resell this, that I'm finding things that I'm like, this is, valuable with this property. And I'm always trying to do that as well. And not that it's about me, but I'm trying to make sure that you're positioning them so that they're going to have the highest chance of success. Yeah,
well, I mean, a lot of people, you don't start out rich buying a house. So you buy something entry level and you climb the property ladder over time.
Yes,
and eventually 10, 20 years later, you finally get that dream house, that new construction or whatever it is.
Exactly. And explaining that to people too. Like, this isn't your forever home. That was something a lot of first-time home buyers get like worried about, like, this isn't really what we were, this is what we had in mind. And it's like, normally it isn't. The first house you buy normally isn't what you kind of had in mind, but it's your step in the door, and making sure that that's something that if they just kind of, fix it up, it kind of something they can pick away at. Well, they can move in comfortably, but then pick away at over time too.
Yeah.
To increase the value.
Yeah. Because like, say normally people, if you're like mid 20s, early 30s, you want to get something and then you realize the thing that you want's really expensive. So you compromise a little bit. So you buy like maybe a townhouse or something like you said. So maybe you're only spending half the amount or you're saving a lot of money. And then 5-6 years down the road, you could either keep that as a rental property and buy something else or sell it and pour all the money into your next house.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because no one starts out buying their dream house unless you're just some type of high income earner, which is not most people, like a doctor.
High income earner, or if you run into some money, or if you,
so you're really helping people set up their future next 10, 20 years.
Yes, yeah.
Climb the property ladder. Like, you don't have kids yet. Maybe you don't need the backyard as much. So you can save the money, save the money on the front end, cheaper bills per month, and then, really get into that whatever you want later on.
What's been your favorite thing about being a real estate agent so far?
Honestly, I love the negotiating.
Do you love the negotiating?
Yeah.
It's fun.
If you're a buyer trying to wreck the sellers, it's like a game.
Yeah.
It's like Monopoly.
It is a game, but it's a game with very high stakes, right? That's the thing, is it's very high stakes negotiating.
Yeah.
And it is exciting. And every single time I'm negotiating, that excitement doesn't fade. It definitely lowers after a while to where I'm like, I'm not anxious about this negotiation anymore. It's kind of more strategic, but there's always that little bit of kind of excitement of going, okay, let's what can I say that's going to favor to get the result here? Because it's like very important. Like the wording gets very important. The tonality, whether you're calling or texting, like how you're having these conversations is all very strategic. There's a lot of strategy in the negotiating.
Yeah. Like if I save a buyer client 10, 20K, like I love it. Like
Right,
it doesn't
of
really help
course.
me at all, but it helps them. And I'm helping them crush it.
Right. And then that you're fighting for them too. So it's like, that's what people want to see. They want to see us helping them achieve the best possible result for them, right? And one of my favorite books about negotiation is Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. Mm-hmm. Great book on negotiation. If anybody out there wants to read a really good book on negotiating, he was a hostage negotiator, and I've read that a couple times, and it's just a great book.
Yeah, I mean, I love some books too, and great way to get information.
Have you read Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss?
No, I've read.
That's a really good one.
I probably should. I need to pick up some new books getting into the new year. I just love listening to audiobooks when I'm on the treadmill at the gym.
Yep.
And it just helps me bring in information slowly and see different perspectives on real estate.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Try to think of a nice closing question here. How are we doing on time here?
I don't know.
We're probably about an hour in, I'd say.
Yeah, we're probably pretty good then.
We're probably close to an hour in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Gemal, thank you so much for your time today, man. I'm super excited for what we're going to do together. Dude, I think you're going to absolutely crush this industry.
Yeah, a minute for the long
I want to actually say this on record. Jamal's going to crush this industry, and I can't wait to friggin' go back and be like, I knew it! So, I'm super excited for that, man. And, just excited to, just keep helping our group grow. I think we got a really good thing going on. I think we got a lot of awesome agents, keeping the culture, just keep the momentum, because we got some huge momentum here in New Brunswick right now. And we're just getting started. So when you joined with us in the Wolfpack and eXp, that was June, pretty well, right? 2024?
It was kind of like September-ish.
September?
It was like late June. I was like writing the exams and getting everything. That was another month.
Okay, so when you came to Churchill's with us, remember that dinner that we had?
Yeah.
And it was like, there was like 6 of us. There was
Yeah,
like me,
I was like a week or
Denise,
two in or
Evan, I think Madison was there. And then there was Diana and Jelaine. I think it was like 7 of us. And,
yeah,
and
I was only like a few weeks in or something at that point.
And we've over doubled in size since then.
Yeah.
It's big things happening, man.
Yeah, well, there's a reason people are going to eXp.
Big things happening here. Absolutely. There's a reason they're staying here, and there's a reason they're growing here and thriving here.
Well, you get more money, you get like the stocks over time, right? It's a good company, so you want to hold on to
commission split.
ownership.
You got the revenue share, the stock options, and then the training on top of all that. And then on top of all that is the culture. And it's this brokerage has completely revitalized my my motivation and just my outlook on real estate. Honestly, like it's like this brokerage has now
obviously
it's a vehicle, right?
So obviously every brokerage has pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
Like the biggest con with eXp is no physical office. Like, so if someone has a really, like, if you have like 3-4 kids and you have to get out of the house to focus, you're either going to need to rent some space or go somewhere else, realistically.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously it's not the best brokerage for everyone, but it is the best brokerage for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the brokerages are actually going to start to transition to being more cloud-based as well. We've already seen copycats come out, right? We've already seen other brokerages, not going to name any names because I don't want to get in trouble, but other brokerages have come out and tried to replicate the eXp model. But the benefit that eXp has is they were the first ones in, so they have worked out the kinks already. When all these other cloud-based brokerages come in, they come in trying to replicate the model, but when you're trying to replicate someone else's recipe, there's secret ingredients that you don't know about that help to have that flavor. So it's just like eXp. They've already worked these things out. There's already things that they've kind of put in place. So they're the ones that have been around the longest. 2012 is when they started with the cloud-based brokerage.
Yeah, I can't see another cloud brokerage beating it because eXp, it's already really big, way bigger than the other ones. And they use their scale to negotiate the cost of all these tools that they give us really low. And then we get to benefit over like free Canva. We get the free good like phone books and everything. Like we get so many tools for free because they're just negotiating for like 100,000 agents or whatever, which really brings the cost down for them, and they pass it to us for free.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of picking what you want to do. There's so many tools, it could be overwhelming to people. And then the Wolfpack's got its own providing tools too, where we have the Social Agent Academy, and then we have all that training, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and then we have the AI training as well on top of all that. So it's just like, you just need to pretty well take time and figure out what you want to excel at, what you want to master, and just kind of pick a couple things. And anytime you're looking to learn some more, there's always all kinds of stuff to learn.
Yeah, the training's there. You just need to take a little bit of initiative and go for it.
That's right. Just like Gemal has, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, thank you very much, Gemal, for coming in, dude. This was incredible. Super excited to air this, and we'll get some awesome clips. Appreciate your time. And ladies and gentlemen,
peace.
Peace.